Hello and welcome to Hack the Dino. I am Ben Rosenthal.
And I'm a slimy scoundrel who steals my co-host's words. I'm Ben Rosenthal and I'm the host. I say all the words. Floppy, why would you steal my words like that?
Because it seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
Well, I can't argue with that, can I? Like, when you're
you
here making all these good points, it makes it very hard for me to counterpoint you. But I will counterpoint with this.
Yes?
Anto,
Hi.
you were saying?
I wasn't saying anything.
No, you were.
No, I wasn't.
I distinctly remember you
Pretty
were
sure
going
you had a valid point.
You were going to counterpoint Floppy here.
Oh, counterpoint. I'm Ben Rosenthal.
God damn it!
Oh, touche.
There can't be
Touche
more.
O'Shea.
There isn't one. Well, there actually is. He's a baseballer and he's very, very successful. But there can't be more than one Ben Rosenthal. I am the
No,
only...
what you mean to say is nobody wants more than one Ben
Nobody
Rosenthal.
wants more than one Ben Rosenthal, all right? One of me is more than enough.
Correct.
But more importantly, you can't get enough of that wonderful stuff.
Yes.
And that wonderful stuff is buff. Not tough, but kind of rough. I am, of course, talking about... Floppy?
Sorry. Bit of fluff.
That's enough.
Are we going to talk about the stuff?
We're going to talk about Game of the Year through the decades,
Ruined it.
80s edition.
Ruined it. Absolute wet blanket you are. Couldn't think of a rhyme. Thought, oh, I'll be professional now.
Yes, that is exactly what happened.
Yeah. And then, have we decided if we're renaming Quiz on Your Face? Are
I think
going
we should rename Quiz on Your Face. I think that's a good idea.
We'll announce it now because, like, we're recording this after. Like, oh, we're breaking down the fourth wall. We record this after we've already recorded the show.
What are we naming it to?
Ready? 3, 2. I'll do the counting. Ready? You're ready for quiz? Floppy, you're not ready for all this. And quiz.
I don't like it.
You're ready for quiz.
I don't like it.
I mean, we could always just throw the name out in the air to, like, our Patreons or something. And
No.
see what they come up with.
It's my game. It's quiz on your face, or
It's
you're
my
ready
game.
for
It's
quiz.
my house. I'm player one. No.
That's right, little brother. You can be Luigi.
I'm fine with that. He's better than Mario.
What? What?
Controversial opinions here at Hack the Dino.
Take your oversized sword and go sit in the bad boys' corner.
That's what he says. No, it's not what he says to him.
Anyway, but first, welcome back to the Dino extravaganza that is your life.
That ad is so quick it gets me.
I'm sure it gets the point across. And the point you need to know is that Game Boy Games is a proud supporter of Hack the Dino and has been for many a year. That's why we here at Hack the Dino encourage you to use your money to buy Game Boy games. If you want Game Boy games, head on over to GameBoyGames.com or whatever it is. And then maybe just go to HackTheDino.com and click the Game Boy Games link instead. And you too can play the floppy game.
You can. And what else can you do when you're at HackTheDino.com? You can go over to the Patreon link and possibly become a Patreon yourself. Many different tiers, all with different benefits. We're going to say thank you to a few of those people now. So thank you to Ash Knight, Karen Knight, Dylan the Villain, Triple Indy, Mike Towns, and Game Boy Dad.
Game Boy Dad.
Game Boy Dad.
I can't not say it like that.
Game Boy Dad, like Alan Partridge.
Thank you.
Thank you. And while you're over at hackthedino.com, don't forget to go on over to Spotify or whatever podcast app you may be listening this to on English, and give us a 5-star rating if you would, and also leave a comment because that helps with the algorithm. Noticed a little bit of a lull in the new people jumping on board, so if you can leave a review or leave 5 stars or maybe share the podcast episode, that would be fantastic because more people listening justifies our existence, which is always nice for everyone. And while you're there, head on over to youtube.com/hackthedino or twitch.tv/hackthedino and be sure to follow us there and you know, just make us life worthwhile, because if it's
We need validation.
we'll just stop.
Seriously, just share it with one other person, and that helps us out hugely.
3.
Just go, hey, do you like beards? We got them. Do you like bald noggins? We got that too. Do you like luscious, beautiful, thick, wavy hair? Better believe we've got that. Do you like intelligent conversation about video game journalism?
Go somewhere else.
IGN's pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, Floppy.
Yes, mate.
You were doing some sleuthing and some journalisming. Journalisming? Yeah, okay.
Sure, if you can call that accidentally coming across something.
Yeah, sure.
I found a little bit cool piece of info this week. that was doing the rounds on social media, but I noticed it, and I think I flicked it over to you.
Mm-hmm.
Shang Tsung, who we know as... what was his name?
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung, but what was his actor's name?
Huh?
I can't remember the actor's name. From Mortal Kombat, Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat.
Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Yep, that's
you.
him.
Is in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, making Mortal Kombat and Sabrina the Teenage Witch the same universe. So this happened in 1997 to promote the upcoming sequel, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Said actor reprised his role as Shang Tsung from the first film in an episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch entitled Get Over Yourself. Let's see what they did. Get over here.
I saw.
It is revealed that Shang Tsung is actually Sabrina's uncle by marriage. And while in town on business, he pays the Spellmans a brief visit. Sabrina's aunts are not thrilled when he fixes dinner, raw boar, or when he takes Salem's, the cat's, soul after he's insulted by him. To get it back, Sabrina agrees to help promote this year's Mortal Kombat tournament, and shenanigans ensue.
So I've done a bit of research.
I really wanted to watch this, and I never got around to it.
You should watch it, because that's absolutely false.
What?
That whole story is absolutely false. It's a lie on social media that came out in 2015.
Really? Couldn't tell me that before the show.
He appeared around the same time as Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but he was a karate competitor who went up against Sabrina, and she used her magic to win the kung fu competition against him, and he knew something was up. He wasn't Shang Tsung. It was the same actor, and it was the time of Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but that was all false.
Damn right, you set me up, man. Did you even send that thing to me?
No, truth be told, I only found this out last night when I decided to research it. I was trying to find footage of it and came across the fact there was
You're damn lucky I didn't do that, because I was trying to do that too. I was like, I'm going to go and watch this episode. That sounds wicked.
See, what's going to happen in next show is Ben's going to reveal he was actually responsible for the hoax back in 2015.
That's right, because I am eternal.
I like that you think that Ben has that much forethought.
He's been planning it all this time.
There you go, kids.
Man.
Do not believe everything you read on the internet, as
Especially if it's
Abraham
from
Lincoln
me.
once said.
No, what this really translates to is don't trust Ben.
Or, I think that's a foregone conclusion.
Get Floppy to check his facts first too. Don't just believe everything he says.
But Floppy, you've been doing some other research as well.
I have. Now, I also have a little costume change for this too. So,
All right.
the-
Bum, ba-dum.
Do you
Before
want me
you
to
do that-
cut to something else while you get changed?
Nah.
No, I'm going to do it here.
Okay.
You're welcome.
But do it live.
So the topic of this part of the show is Game of the Year through the decades, the 80s edition. So we've got an 80s edition. I already had my denim jacket on. Decided to add to it.
Ba-da-dum, bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-dum, bum, bum,
Going full
bum,
80s.
bum, bum, ba-da-dum.
Marty McFly style.
That is freaking amazing. Michael Towns has called it. It's a Thriller jacket. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Can't
the jacket
read the
from
screen
Thriller.
with these.
So what is that you've got on for the podcast listeners?
This is a replica Marty McFly vest. It actually is a Back to the Future
Puffer jacket.
branded one.
It's
very cool.
amazing. I am so jealous.
I got
So
through
very
work,
jealous.
mate.
It's so cool. Anyway, what are we doing, Floppy?
So we're going to talk about Game of the Year through the decades. Now, this show we're going to talk about the 80s. Now, I also will go out and say that there is no definitive Game of the Year for each year. Back then, there was many different sort of magazines or,
Like there is
or
now.
things like now.
Like every outlet has their own game of the year.
So I went through and I sort of cherry picked. So this is Floppy's idea of the games of the year from the ones that were awarded games of the year many times.
Let the record show
There is no definitive one.
this is all Floppy's fault.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start off. So start off with 1980. Amazing year of my birth. Game of the year for 1980, it was Pac-Man.
Up, 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 up.
Oh, mate, Pac-Man. So this came out in the arcades, and it was developed by Namco and originally called Puck-Man, which I didn't know. Has quickly
Really?
become...
Have you not seen Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah, but I don't think I ever noticed that in it. There was a lot of other flashy stuff going on.
No, it was an anecdote he told Ramona Flowers and Knives Chow.
Yeah, it's...
I may have just thought that was something from the film.
No, it's legit like a thing.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure it was... They changed it from puck to pack because it was easy to deface the P and make it an F.
Yeah, right. So anyway,
Hang on, no, I think it was actually, it meant something else in Japanese,
Oh, it might have done.
like when they changed the letter. Anyway.
anyway, so Pac-Man, of course, has quickly become one of the most recognizable video game characters in history. He needs to eat pellets in this game, progressively more complex mazes, while avoiding ghosts named Blinky, Clinky, Inky, and Clyde.
Do you know they're also making a live-action film of this now?
I did know that, actually.
Hack The Dino reported on it exclusively over at Instagram.
Did you know that Pac-Man was briefly considered to be a playable character in Super Smash Bros. Brawl under Shigeru Miyamoto's suggestion, but the idea was scrapped?
Until... What game did Pac-Man become playable, Anto? What Smash Brothers?
I'm pretty sure it was in Ultimate.
Yes.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
they've done it?
Yeah,
pretty sure
there's an
he
amiibo
wasn't-
of him.
Oh, no, he was in 3DS, apparently.
There you go.
That's right, yeah, no, sorry, he was. It was him, Mega Man, and some other characters that
Yeah,
made
it
it
was
into
supposed to be in
3DS.
Brawl. Didn't get there.
But he got there in the end, and that's
Got
what really
there
matters.
in the end. All right, next one, Ben. 1981.
1981, Donkey Kong, the old monkey boy.
Donkey Kong.
Created by Shigeru Miyamoto when he was tasked with converting the failed game radar scope into a game that would appeal to an American audience. Incidentally, those game radars, if you find an original Donkey Kong machine that I think is red, it will have the game radar scope stuff still in there. Because all they did was swap the boards out.
Okay.
And also, I don't know if you've got this here, Donkey Kong was originally supposed to be Popeye, but they couldn't get the rights to it.
Yes.
Oh, really?
So Jumpman, or Mario, was going to be Popeye, Pauline was Olive Oil, and Bluto was the one throwing barrels at you.
Yeah, right.
Because Shigeru Miyamoto loved Popeye. You play as Jumpman, Mario, and need to rescue your girlfriend Pauline was quickly released on nearly all consoles and home computers.
I played this on PC
Yeah?
for the first time ever. Well,
Yeah?
the first time I ever played it, yeah.
First
And I
time
could never get past, like, the second level as a kid.
Anto?
Yeah, same boat as Floppy. I couldn't get very far in it at all when I was younger, but the first console I played this on was, weirdly, the Atari 2600.
Yeah, I played it on the NES as part of the Donkey Kong Classics. I remember I got that with my NES when I got it for Christmas one year.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
And just sat down there and played it. So this had Donkey Kong as well as Donkey Kong Jr.
I'm assuming you, like, everyone watching has probably also watched it, the King of Kong
Yep.
documentary.
Great documentary.
It is a great documentary. It is, like, I don't know how much of that is played up in some of the interviews or anything like that. If it is, there's some salty people out there with Donkey Kong high scores and stuff, man.
Oh, yeah. It's just all ego. Everything in this world is ego, especially when you live... I'm not going to get into it, but if your life isn't what you thought it was going to be, and you can grasp onto one
thing,
then you're going to make sure that that's protected.
Ulrich in the chat says his first time he played it was in Downtown.
Oh, Downtown. You remember Downtown?
Yeah, I do. That was so cool.
I don't. I was too young.
All right, that brings us to 1982, possibly one of the years that Ben could have been born.
No, I'm eternal.
Yeah, all right. Game of the year, released on the arcade, was Cubit. So I remember playing Cubit. I played Cubit. It was one of the first video games I played.
Really?
Because my dad had it on the PC he had at home. Years later, not in 1982. So it's a 2D puzzle adventure that used an isometric view that created like this faux 3D effect. Each level requires you to change the color of each cube by hopping on it while avoiding obstacles and enemies. And this somehow got a TV series.
Pac-Man got a TV series.
Yeah, I know. Pac-Man, I could see. This, I did not
How
think
can
would
you
ever...
say he's a pizza?
He-
Like, who looks at that and goes, yeah, like, this guy's got eyes at least. Pac-Man's a circle with a triangle miss. It's like, you know what? That'd make a good TV series. Let's give him kids.
What do you
the
reckon?
ghosts can
What do you
be-
reckon the Cubit is?
Oh, God, an ostrich.
Yeah, it looks like part anteater maybe.
Personally, I think he's a cocaine-fueled nightmare that someone came up with.
Cocaine-fueled nightmare.
Judging from the 80s video game development scene, yeah, highly
probably.
probable.
Did
Yep.
you ever play this?
I've not played Cubit, can you believe?
Have you ever played this, Anto?
I have. I had it on a... Was it Namco who made this?
Yes.
Sure.
Yep.
Pretty sure I had this on a compilation disc for PS1, so I played it in like 1996.
Yeah. So I played it in the mid to late 80s, I'd say. When my dad had one of the games that he had on there was Space Invaders.
Nice.
Space Invaders had Cubit, had something else.
Well, when I want to play Space Invaders, I simply just go over to my 1977 original Taito Space Invaders cocktail machine that I've got sitting in my games room. He's snoring out of jealousy, people.
No, so I haven't got room for that.
In 1983, Mario Brothers for the arcade came out. Now, I'm talking about Mario Brothers, not Super Mario Brothers. Originally designed by Miyamoto and Gunpei Yokai as a spin-off to Donkey Kong, it took the Plumber Brothers, Mario and Luigi, and turned them into probably the best-known video game characters ever. The setting of sewers, running and jumping over pipes, and flipping turtle enemies became a staple of the series. On October 16th, 2015, Steve Klesaith...
Steve.
Him.
Just Steve.
Good old Steve-O obtained the world record for the arcade version at 5,424,920 points.
That is a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
Would you believe I don't think I ever played this
Really?
Mario game until I played on my Switch?
Really?
Yeah, I played Super Mario Brothers,
Yep.
but I don't think I ever played Mario Brothers. Because when I was watching the footage of this, and I was looking at it, and I was like, why isn't it in Toadstool Land and Mushroom World or whatever? And I was like, Matt, like this is legit the first one, and I don't remember ever playing this.
It's a pretty fun game, but it's pretty one note. Like the enemies get harder, but it's not the best.
And yeah, and then I realized you're literally in sewers, just like, and that they're turtles. Like it is legit plumber's game.
Yep. Anto?
I played this the first time, I think, when, I don't know what year it was either 2001, 2002, when the Game Boy Advance first came out. I played this, not this specific arcade perfect version, but the sort of deluxe remake they made and tacked on to every Super Mario Advance game they released.
Yep.
I had actually a lot of fun playing this in multiplayer using link cables.
Yeah,
This is
multiplayer's-
absolutely hilarious in
Yeah,
multiplayer.
right.
You can troll people so bad. I used to troll my sisters with the version that we had. So you'd work as a team. At least that's what I told my sisters. And they'd go, oh, I'll get them underneath and you jump up top. Okay, yeah, cool. And just as they were jumping up to go get them, I'd jump it again and they'd come back alive and kill my sister.
Oh, rude,
You
mate.
heard it here first, folks. Ben likes filicide.
Well, Floppy killed my father, so I'm allowed
Still
to...
don't know where you're going with that. I'm sure there's going to culminate.
I'll tell you where I'm going, to the funeral home to see my dearly departed dad that you killed.
It's going to culminate in something, but
Well,
don't
I
know
think it
what.
already did comment. What are you going to kill him again?
Sure.
Anyway, what's next?
Next one is one we all know. 1984. Tetris.
Bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum,
Created by a Soviet software engineer. Now, I'm sure I'm going to make a mess of his name. Alexei
Pachinov.
Pachinov.
Yep.
So he developed Tetris due to his love of puzzles and quickly became one of the most recognizable games of all time. Has been released on nearly every gaming platform ever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a compilation video of different Tetrises that you can see. Like
And he got screwed out of royalties for it.
he did. We'll get to that. So it sold well over 200 million copies. Has been used on many research studies to analyze like its theoretical complexity, its effect on the human brain. The pieces actually have a name. Tetraminos?
Tetrominos.
Tetrominos or Tetraminos?
Both.
They're called Jeff.
Good, Jeff. Unfortunately, intellectual property didn't exist in the Soviet Union in the 80s, so he didn't get the rights to his creation until 1996, and I'm pretty sure he had to go through a whole heap of hell to get it.
Oh, yeah. There's actually a comic about it. I've got it in there.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, there is. I've seen
Greenlight Comics.
Comics in the city had a graphic novel. Yeah, about the trials and tribulations of creating Tetris. But this is also one of those games that my dad had when we were growing up, and I played the heck out of. I got. Oh, whoa, that one's next level. I got pretty good at it. I didn't get anywhere near as good. My uncle was amazing. He was like some savant where he could see shit coming before it was there. It was so long until I realized that I could see what the next piece was going to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't realize that for so long. Until I was like well into my teens.
I even now, like, you can play this on Switch Online.
Yeah.
Tetris 99, the Battle Royale game.
Yeah.
That is so much fun.
It is fun.
And so intense.
For those of you who haven't seen it, a Tetris 99 is you have it's like a battle royale. So you have 100 people playing Tetris or 99 people playing Tetris. When you get rid of lines or blocks of lines, it goes to someone else and it gets added to theirs. So you've got this constant fighting to not just get rid of your blocks, but then to avoid or try and get rid of the blocks that other people are putting on you. And it's cool.
It's a good time.
Chaotic.
There's other versions of Tetris as well. There's Wetris.
What?
Yeah, look up Wetris. That's a fun game.
I feel like maybe you shouldn't.
That's for Dino more.
Oh, okay.
It's spawned many different games, many different sequels.
Yeah.
It is a classic, and I still enjoy it. You can still enjoy it to this day.
Yeah, like
Fantastic game.
how many people had a Game Boy and had Tetris?
Well, it's a launch title.
Yeah.
With it. Oh, it was a
Everyone.
pack-in title, I should say. if you don't have that for your Game Boy, what are you doing with your life?
Pretty much.
You too could sit under lights in dark when you're driving back from your relative's house, waiting for the street light to come so you can actually see what your screen's doing.
Yeah.
Next, we have
Before we move on,
Metroid. Yeah, what?
just very quickly.
Yes.
I've got a fun factoid about Tetris,
Oh,
but
hit us.
also Cat Like Sparky, Coda, hello, just pointed out that research has actually been done showing that playing Tetris after a traumatic event can help prevent the development of PTSD.
That's unreal.
That's right, because
Which is
your
super
anger is so focused on those goddamn pieces not coming in and falling in the right spot that you focus all your energy into the hate and it kills you. That's an official medical research paper conducted by me, Eternal Ben Rosenthal.
I've got a somewhat weirder little factoid.
Than
Actually,
that?
that's pretty weird. So back when Tetris released on Game Boy, Nintendo Power used to run competitions where you'd submit your high scores. And Steve Wozniak, one of the co-founders of Apple back in the day,
Never heard of it.
he was so good at it and always was at the top of the leaderboard that he had to start secretly sending in scores under an alias. And all he did was reverse his name. So one week, they were like, okay, we're not going to publish his scores anymore. So Steve Wozniak wasn't at the top of the leaderboard, but Yvette's Kainzau was. So he kept sending in his score, getting better every single time they released an issue of Nintendo Power, and it just changed from Steve Wozniak to Yvette's Kainzau every week.
That's cool.
It's hilarious. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. You were talking about Super Metroid?
No, I lied.
1985.
Super Mario Brothers. Is it me or you?
That's you.
Okay. This came from the Famicom first and foremost, and then came over to the NES when it launched over here. You don't know how to spell Luigi, do you?
No, I switched between using a G and a J depending on which part I was writing.
Which side of their brain's having the stroke?
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi leave the sewers behind to traverse the Mushroom Kingdom to rescue Princess Toadstool from King Koopa, later renamed Bowser, in the US.
Yes.
He's still King
So
Koopa
he's still-
over in
King
Japan.
Koopa in Japan on all like to this day.
Yep, still King Koopa. Bowser Koopa.
Yeah.
Often praised for its precise controls, which it was. It's often referred to as one of the greatest games of all time. Correct. Coins to collect, power-ups, and secrets made this game so much fun and very replayable. Miyamoto designed World 1-1 to contain everything a player needed to learn the game, which is absolutely correct. Absolute masterclass in level design. Fun fact, those bricks that you smash,
Yep.
yeah, they're the inhabitants of the Mushroom Kingdom.
What?
Yeah, if you read the instruction booklet of Super Mario Brothers, Bowser actually turns all the inhabitants of the Mushroom Kingdom into those question blocks.
Oh, so you're killing them all.
Yep, just smash, well, you're releasing them.
Okay.
And another fact, people who say that Mario's headbutting the blocks when he jumps and hits them really
he
annoy the hell
punching
out of me. Yeah, he's jumping with his fist. It's quite easy to see. But people like to believe their own narrative. And to those people, I'd say, go to hell, you scumbags.
Wow, that's
I always just assumed he was holding his hat on.
No, he's punching.
I'm
Clearly.
kidding. I'm
It's like he
screwing with
also
you.
punches Yoshi in the back of the head.
I'm screwing with you.
Yeah, he's sadistic. He's a sadistic
But
man.
this was my first introduction to Mario.
Me too.
I played this at a friend's house and I thought it was awesome. I loved it. I didn't have a Nintendo system.
This is what started.
Is that your childhood one?
This is my childhood one. This is the one that I got when I first got my NES given to me for one Christmas.
Wow.
The very one. And you can see...
It's got your save game on it.
Yeah, it's a little bit dog-eared and whatnot, but
Cool.
I usually have this in a big acrylic case. This is my grail item. This is the one thing that I've told my daughter she can't sell when I'm dead. I just want her to hold on
She's
to
totally
this.
going to sell it. You're going to be dead and not
Well,
know.
yeah, I'm not going to know, but if I guilt her now. Just probably my favorite game of all time, purely for what it did to me and my wallet. It started my obsession with
that
Nintendo.
could start a court case.
I became so obsessed with this as a kid. And it never stopped. I never stopped collecting Nintendo stuff. I've got Nintendo coloring books from the 80s and the early 90s because I was so obsessed with Mario and so obsessed with this game. I still remember going over a friend's house and seeing him play it for the very first time and just my jaw dropping.
Yeah.
And
that
wow,
Ozzy?
because up until then, I'd seen Space Invaders and whatnot. But this was the first game that I owned. And even to this day, it still is very, very special to me. It's just wonderful. Wonderful
So-
game, wonderfully designed. You finished it?
No, I don't think I ever did. I don't think I ever did. I never had the console, so I always played it at a friend's house.
Right.
And so it was always play for a bit. But you're hanging out and you're doing other stuff as well. I never sat down and played it from start to finish.
Anton, do you ever finish it?
Not the NES version specifically. I finished Super Mario Brothers Deluxe on my Game Boy Color. Mm-hmm. And I finished the Mario All-Stars version of this.
Right.
So not quite the same in terms of... I mean, very, very similar in terms of how it feels and plays, but not quite exactly the same. Just a testament to how, I guess, still relevant this game is. It's still being speedrun by thousands of people across the world.
Yep.
And it's...
By people who wouldn't have been alive when this game came out.
Yeah.
Even people now, like, who are growing up with video games and being introduced to them by their parents or older siblings and stuff, are still playing this and being like, yeah, this is great. But it's just fascinating that there is such a hardcore community of people who love playing this so much. They've, on a technical level, gotten to the point where the game is now finishable with 0.5 of a second left being able to be shaved off the time before it cannot be played any better.
Yep. And that's clipping through the corners of boxes and everything. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
So Downsy in the chat has just popped out a decent run in the footage. I'd just like to say you're welcome. I spent all morning capturing this footage.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. I spent all morning looking for it on YouTube.
There is
what I meant.
Another memory I have of this game. So a cafe that a friend of mine once owned before it shut down, he had an NES set up on a couch.
Oh, that's cool.
And one time I was just there with a friend of ours, and the only couch that was free was the one with the NES there. So we were having a cafe. I thought, I'll play Mario Brothers. And I'm sitting there just playing, and because I'd play it so many times, I know this very well, so I can talk and play, and I know all the secrets and where to get to the warp zones and whatnot. And after about half an hour of playing or whatever, a friend of mine just goes, hey, look. And crowds had gathered to watch me play.
I like that you make it sound like you're I'll just play because it's free, whereas you actually kicked 6 people off there to get it.
Oh, child probably just never
punched
the
a
same.
kid.
Yeah,
Just punched a kid who's he's now can't turn left and forgets D in the alphabet.
And the funny thing was that so I got the high score on it because
Because you can.
because I can, and they thought that it went missing, and they thought that I got it because my high score was on there. And I said to him, that high score wasn't my high score. My high score was on here, like that. That was nothing. That was a Sunday coffee conversation. It's not my fault you're terrible at games and can't beat it. Anyway,
Wow.
Mario Brothers, fun for everyone.
Next one, 1986.
Incidentally,
Okay.
it's not worth $450, which I have seen in a store. It's not worth that. The boxed version. It's not worth $450.
It's priceless, mate. It's not worth anything to you.
Well, no.
We'll
Like,
never get rid of it.
that game is not worth that much money.
1986 saw The Legend of Zelda released on the Famicom and the NES.
Ooh.
Speaking of just like monumentous games.
Oh, they really came out of the park strong with the NES, didn't they, with these games?
Looking back at the lineup in the first couple of years, man, has there ever been a console that's ever done it similar?
Well, not with new original IP, no.
No, definitely not. But yeah, everything out here that is a new IP, like far out. So this was inspired by Lord of the Rings and Indiana Jones and the rolling hills and countryside around Miyamoto's home.
Growing up, I always thought that was BS. Like Miyamoto used to say that, I used to go around and discover things and these old temples and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, bollocks. Then when I went to Japan for the first time.
Walked around his house and he's like, man, got temples.
Yeah, just caught up with him. Going around there, we went to some of the parks around Tokyo and whatnot. And they are big and expansive and have all these old shrines. And you can 100% believe it's nothing like Australia, whereas there's forest and hills everywhere, and there are temples and little things you can discover that have been there for years and probably not seen by anyone for 100 years, and then you stumble across it and it's this statue covered with moss, and it's like, man, wow, this is great.
Wow. Hey, Anto, can you skip forward to like gameplay or something of this one? Because it just looks cool. So something I didn't know that I only learnt today was originally it was conceived as a 2-player dungeon creator, but quickly became the single-player exploration game with underground dungeons that we know today. Sold 1 million copies in just over a year.
Wow.
Like in
that was
1986.
big back then.
That's massive. I'd say that's massive now.
Yeah.
All the cartridges were printed gold except the classic series version, which was printed in standard grey.
Yep.
So as you know, I recently got this game on the NES over the last few weeks. A nice gold cartridge. The gold looks so good.
It does.
Like I don't have it boxed. I have it in the little sleeve, the little Nintendo sleeve, and I cannot wait to actually play this on my NES. I'm going to sit down one day. How long do you reckon it takes to get through this?
See, the thing with this
It's
is
an open world too, isn't it?
completely open world.
So it's
So you go everywhere. You can look it up on a read through and cruise through it pretty easily.
Yeah,
I would not recommend that.
No,
I would
I'm
recommend
going to go play it.
sitting down. And as you said last show, get your graph paper out if you want to.
I've got a graph pad already set aside to draw a map.
It's very much Breath of the Wild, but without the tutorial area at the start. It's like, right, there you go. Off you go.
Where would you put it on a difficulty level?
Oh, it's up there. It's harder than Mario Brothers. Like, easily.
Okay.
It's great game. Again, fantastic game design and level design. Teaches you what you need to know, where you need to go. There are so many hidden things.
Okay. I didn't know that there were so many hidden things. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. But yeah, like we were saying, this is just another one of those games that came out in the 80s that is just created this powerhouse of a series that just didn't quit. Like, man, what were they doing? I wonder if they knew what they were doing. Oh, there you go. There's a secret. I'll have to remember that.
Well, it's an entrance to a dungeon.
Yep. Okay. But yeah, do you reckon they knew what they were doing at the time?
Well, I mean, obviously, they want to be successful.
Do you reckon they had any idea how successful at the time?
I
I reckon they wouldn't have, surely.
don't know. I wasn't there.
I was.
I was over at Sega giving them ideas.
Oh,
So what you want to do is suck really bad.
that works
is what I
real
said.
well.
Well, it did work for me. Next up, we have 1987 Dragon Quest II for the NES and the MSX. Microsoft's first console? Second console? I don't know.
MSX.
The second game in the series greatly expanded on the first with more spells, more items, and a map twice the size of the original. The first game in the series to have multiple playable characters and enemies in a single battle. There are only 3 save points in the entire game.
Yeah, that sounds nuts, right?
That sounds awful.
Anto, have you played this? Because you are a bit of a Dragon Quest fan, are you not?
I haven't played this. I've played the sort of re-releases that have better translations and stuff that came out on Switch a while ago. Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge fan of the early Dragon Quest games because they are absolutely, like, to use an overused term, these early Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest games are the Dark Souls of, like, traditional RPGs.
Yeah, right.
They're crazy difficult. They're good fun, but, you know, I think going back to them now, if you want to sort of try out early RPGs, it's absolutely best to go in with a sort of spoiler-free guide to how to play. Sorry, I tried not to comment on the Sega thing a minute ago because I was dying. I've been trying to stifle laughter and not make too much noise over Floppy's comments about kids getting punched.
By all means, let it rip.
But yeah, no, I have played this, but for me, I fell hard into Final Fantasy rather than this, and I've got a bit of a problem with the composer of Dragon Quest. He's a very bad man. He's done some really shifty, horrible, awful stuff, and he's, you know, like anti other races and cultures.
Yeah, right.
It's all right. Well, we won't bring him up anymore.
Not a big fan.
Yeah, Dragon Quest 2. Or Dragon Warrior 2.
Then we've got possibly the greatest game of all time.
So 1988 showed us Super Mario Brothers 3. Mm-hmm. So this came out in the NES and Famicom. So you control Mario and Luigi to save Princess Toadstool from Bowser, again, of course. Flying, sliding down slopes, Koopalings, and a world map were all introduced in this game.
Yep.
It is the third best-selling NES game ever at over 17 million copies sold. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know when that was actually recorded, so probably more by now. Western audiences first saw the game debuted at the end of the video game-themed movie The Wizard, which I thought was one of the coolest marketing strategies. They put out this movie with Fred Savage, Christian Slater was in it, and others, I can't remember, it was basically, you know, Tommy the Rock Opera from The Who, about a deaf, dumb and blind kid that played pinball. This is kind of the similar sort of thing. There was a kid that we would say these days on a spectrum who loved video games and used video games as a bit of an escape, and he was really, really good at them. So his brother and a friend kidnapped him and went hitchhiking across America to go to a games tournament.
Yep. Just keep your power glove off her. Right?
Oh, Power Glove. The Power Glove was shown in this thing.
It's so bad.
It's so bad they didn't use it. They didn't even use it properly.
No.
But it was in there and it looked awesome. And at the tournament at the end of the movie, the surprise game they have to play for first, second, and third position is unveiled as the never-before-seen Super Mario Brothers 3.
Never before seen in America.
Yeah, in America.
Because this was out in Japan for a long time before it came over.
I don't know if it was a long time.
That was a good couple of months.
But we also didn't have, the internet and all of the reporting there. So no one knew it was a thing.
Well, this is where screenshots came from.
Yes.
A screenshot was legitimately taking a shot of a screen
of a
game in Japan. It's Super Mario World where it became predominant.
But, so people were watching this movie, saw Super Mario Brothers 3 for the first time, and that was the beginning of the marketing for this game in the western part of the world, which was awesome.
You're missing
love
the
that.
most important part of that movie as well.
Which
So
one?
I watched this with the same friend that I went to his house and first found the NES. And
Did you watch
Super
it
Mario Brothers.
in cinemas?
No, I wasn't old enough for the cinemas. I watched it VHS release
Okay.
when it came out. No, maybe it was a cinema. All I remember is that they showed the location of one of the whistles, the warp whistles.
Oh, really?
It was
Yeah,
the
I was
first
gonna
time,
mention
and
that
I
as
went, "What?" I flipped out, and then we would have seen it in the cinemas actually because we went back to his place and we tried all night. Well, I say all night, probably till about 9 o'clock.
All night for a 6-year-old.
Trying to work out how to get this goddamn whistle in the first castle.
Right.
Man, so many secrets in this game. This is quite easily the best game of all time.
This is the first where you got like the Tanuki Mario and all that.
Correct,
isn't it?
Tanuki suit. Without the
What is a Tanuki?
Tanuki is a mythical animal in Japan
Yeah, right.
that is a garden. It's kind of like a squirrel. Can transform to other things and has massive testicles.
I'd say it's more like a raccoon, but
Yeah, but
Are we not? Are we just ignoring the massive testicles comment?
yeah.
Anto, can you just get a quick shot of a Tanuki for me, please?
Give me a second. Let me just go and search for Tanuki testicles.
No, not you just look at Tanuki. There's a Miyazaki film about Tanuki that
So is
transforms
it
into a
actually a
human.
mythical thing, or is it a real? Is it?
It's a mythical thing,
Yeah,
but you
okay.
see statues of them.
Oh, okay.
They're like protectors.
They do. Townsy says they do exist, just not magical ones.
That's right. They're like drop bears.
Oh, okay.
If I
There
can
you go.
draw. There you go.
Oh, right. Yep, that's dude's lollybagging and a half. Isn't he?
And that's one on the small side. So they use that, like there's characters of them using that as a glider when they jump down from, like they use their nutsack for a variety of
so
implements.
my next question was going to be why have they sort of fashioned the flying suit out of an animal that doesn't fly? But
I don't know. I would have to look into it. But yeah, it's what Tom Nook is also based on. He's based on Tanukis
oh, okay,
without the testicles.
that guy's annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1988. That's a pretty gnarly year for Game of the Year. 1988. 1989, final year of the 80s. What do we got, mate?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES, or the hardest game in the entire world. One of the first games based on the TV show and made by Konami. It's a single-player action game where you start as Leo. Well, no, you don't. But you can change between characters with the superb controls and sharp graphics. It sold over 4 million cartridges in the first 2 years. That is because of Turtle Mania.
Yeah, everything was turtles.
So while he's the worst turtle, Donatello's easily the best one to play as in this game.
Range?
Yeah, because and what's also really, really cool is that his bow staff can go through the floor and go through structures. So you can stand underneath enemies and just go doo, 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 and kill them that way.
Is that just glitch?
No, just, not programmed
Do an
correctly.
angry bottom floor renter who's banging on the roof of people being noisy above.
That's right. But this game is incredibly hard. You say the water bomb level to anyone and they will go, oh. I did manage to finish it one time. So the reason it's so hard is that you have to swim through this maze underwater.
Yeah.
So you've got water physics. But there's traps and you have to defuse bombs. And they're like quite often behind electric fences that turn on and off. And you have to get your timing right. But you can't stay there too long because the whole thing is on a timer itself for when the bombs are going to blow up.
Yes, of course.
And the time that you can spend getting to one is so like whisper thin that it is absolutely ridiculous. And people will remember that water level more than anything. You can cheese all these bosses as well. It's pretty good.
I just want to quickly respond to Dylan in the chat. Personally, I think this game is harder than Battletoads.
Absolutely.
I've finished Battletoads, and I've never gotten past the damn level in this game.
You finished Battletoads?
Yeah.
Wow, that's an achievement.
That's pretty impressive, man.
I've never finished Battletoads. I've never finished this game either.
Having said that, I watched that guy play Guitar Hero the other night.
That's scary.
It was unbelievable. Like it was just like his fingers separated from his hands and just moved independently.
You know in Ghost in the Shell, in the animated movie, where there's that guy who goes, right, I'll just type, and his fingers go like that, and they split apart and split apart. Yeah, so he's got a key hand on. That's Anto.
That's Anto playing Guitar Hero.
Fact.
But they're also separate from his hands and just moving independently like that.
Anyway, how good's Ninja
Unreal.
Turtles? My God, what a franchise.
Amazing. What a cool franchise.
I've I got gifted parts for the Technodrome.
Oh.
The guys at the Toy Power podcast, when I was there for their podcast, they said, oh, well, that's junk. You can have it if you want. And I went, oh, am I better off doing that or better off buying a full one? And Ben just went, don't do it, buy a full one. And then Trent said, well, look, you can have these parts if you want them. And I went, well, I'm not going to turn down parts of a Technodrome.
Why would you?
So they're in there.
For those people who don't know, Technodrome was a giant
ball.
tank-like ball that
Technodrome.
Krang and Shredder drove around in.
Man,
Bebop and
Ninja
Rocksteady.
Turtles. You read The Last Ronin?
No, I haven't.
Anto, have you heard of The Last Ronin?
I know
Heard
of it, but I haven't read it.
Never consumed whatever media it is.
You should go to Greenlight Comics or Gamma Ray Comics and get the trade. If you have any affliction with Ninja Turtles whatsoever, I highly recommend it. It's basically the last Ninja Turtle story.
Oh, okay.
Without spoiling anything too much, 3 of the 4 turtles are dead. And the last turtle brother is out to avenge their deaths against Shredder's grandson.
You know, I don't know who it is, but I bet I can guess.
Who? Take a guess.
Do you want me to take a guess?
I'm not going to say who it is, but
I bet you it's Raph.
Okay, who do you think, Anto?
As in, which one's still alive?
Yep.
Raph.
Okay, so it's revealed at the end of the first issue who the brother that's still alive is.
Are we right?
I'm not saying. You got to read it. It's also written by Kevin Eastman, one of the original creators of Ninja Turtles, and it is fantastic. I highly recommend it. So there we go. That is the year of the 80s.
That is the Game of the Year through the decades, 80s edition. Maybe we'll do 90s next week. Maybe I'll keep it every second week or something like that. But I don't know yet.
It's a good idea.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, the 90s would be a good time considering
The amount of stuff that came out in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, the 90s was great for video games. Really was.
It was. It was the best time to be alive.
So, yeah, we'll do 90s, 2000s, 2010s, which I'll probably bundle 2010s with, the beginning of the 2020s.
No, we can do a small 2020s, I think.
Small 2020s one?
Yeah. Are we going to do deals? Or are we going to do some quizzing?
Look, I ran out of time to do deals this week. I won't lie, it's been very busy.
Quiz time?
But there is one deal I would like to actually...
All right, very quickly.
very
quickly do that. Deal!
When I began to look at deals and then ran out of time. But one I did find, which was amazing on the PlayStation, normally $114, and it's down to $28, is Captain Tsubasa.
Oh, Captain Tsubasa is really good.
So, Andrew, can you find a quick little bit of footage for Captain Tsubasa? Do you know what this is?
I do not.
What's the subtitle of this game?
Just look at Captain Tsubasa PS4. Just look up that and you'll find it because it's the same game, but this is the deluxe edition.
Tsubasa.
So you can play with up to 4 players. It's an arcade football, what we would call soccer, but the rest of the world calls football.
Like
game including the full game, character packs, and a deluxe V jump accessories. It has 2 story modes and online play. It's like the anime soccer.
So strikers.
Strikers, like Persona 5 strikers, yeah. But before them, this thing is unreal. They have special moves and everything.
The best way I can describe this to anyone who's not interested in either like anime or football, it's football Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Yes.
It's
that
amazing.
Is perfect.
Like, I don't care for sports in most regard, but like, if you put anime ridiculousness with like this, basketball, baseball, any other sport,
Shaolin soccer,
I'm in, yeah. FIFA Ball Z.
FIFA Ball Z, but yeah, there's also like there's the anime that is this is based on. I think it was an anime first. There's also like basketball related ones. You can get cycling related ones where they all have like.
Parker is obsessed with the volleyball one, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Haikyuu. Haikyuu was amazing.
Yeah. Dan
So
was as
good.
well. Dan cosplay as the characters out of Haikyuu once.
Oh,
Did
you see that mad mullet? But it was a right proper 80s mullet, like it was deservingly so. None of those faux mullets that you see now.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the one deal that I'll tell you about. It's $28 down from 114. It's pretty worth it.
Anto,
Hello.
Floppy,
Yes.
are you ready to quiz?
Depends where.
You're ready for quiz?
Quiz on your
Quiz on your face. Man, we should have called it. Are you ready to quiz? You're ready to quiz?
That would have been better.
You're ready to quiz? That's what I'm going to say from now on. Y'all ready to quiz? Anyway,
Please don't say y'all.
y'all.
Howdy, y'all.
I am just trying to
Mr. Hankins.
connect with our largest demographic, which is the USA for some reason.
Maybe don't do
Specifically, Southern USA.
Y'all.
Maybe don't do it by imitating them.
Dust Veilbeard loves it when I say y'all. I'll tell you over
I
in
feel like
Discord.
Dust Veilbeard is not here to corroborate.
They will cooperate in our Discord, which you can join over at hackthedino.com. Just head on over there. Anyway, y'all ready for quiz? Anyway, I have 4 questions here. 2 from me, 2 from our high-end Patreon supporters.
All right.
Each question has 4 possible answers. We have got the person who thinks they know to yell. You know how quizzes work. It's multiple choice.
Yeah.
Yell out name, answer, yes, no, get point. So we'll go through the points. I could have this wrong. So Floppy, correct me if I am. But we've got Ben S from the Toy Power Podcast on 1, Trent and Jazz on 2 apiece, Braden on 5, and Anto and Floppy 21 apiece. Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure you adjusted my score down maliciously last week, but we are tying.
I reckon I
yes.
was supposed to be 1 up, but then you guys were playing like
Silly buggers?
silly buggers on there and changing it. But well, we can leave it 21 apiece. That's fine.
No, I can up it to 22.
Yeah,
trying-
I'm pretty
I think
sure
I was on 21.
You what?
you were on 22. That you were definitely a point ahead of me.
All right, Floppy's on 22, Anto's on 21. And just be grateful I'm feeling gracious today. For now.
Thank you.
Not you.
Oh,
That one.
right.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, first question is from Dylan the Villain. Dylan asks, in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, which character would you unlock once you achieved 100% completion? Was it A, Iron Man, B, Spider-Man, C, Rocket Raccoon, or D, Angar
Anto.
the Screamer? Anto?
Does he mean Tony Hawk's Underground 2?
I'm just reading what he wrote.
I'm going to say Iron Man either way.
Incorrect.
It's Spider-Man.
Correct. Spider-Man. See, I knew that because I've seen the footage and thought that was really cool. And I
had
also
to hear it because I remember it, but I couldn't remember who it was.
I changed one of his answers. His last option was Captain America, but I like the name Angar the Screamer a lot more. Real character.
Sorry, Dylan the villain.
Real character. Angar the Screamer.
That's a good point. Activision did have a license, Townsy. Yeah, I should have known that.
Yeah. Oh, that guy. Okay, question number 2. What was the first home console to implement online play over a phone line? Was it A, Nintendo with the Satellaview, B, Xbox with Xbox Live, C, Sega with SegaNet, or D, Atari with cans and string?
Anto.
Anto?
Sega.
Correct.
Exactly as they brought out, didn't they bring out all those SOCOM stuff? Was that with Sega? No, it wasn't. Was it?
SOCOM was PS2.
PS2.
Yes. All right, next one is from Michael Towns, who, and I had this, you know how every week I say, oh, yeah, Townsy gave me a long-winded blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
He literally wrote like 2 paragraphs, this question. And I
Jerry
just said
does
to
it
him,
on purpose,
are you
yeah?
doing this on purpose? And he said,
Youth.
no, but now that you've brought it up, I will. So again, I've had to rewrite this. So this is from Michael Towns. Which classic horror game randomized the... Oh, hang on. No, wait, that's mine. I haven't got Michael Towns here. Hang on, give me a sec. All right, we'll do that one then while I find Michael Towns' one. Which classic horror game randomized the background noises in order to prevent players from predicting what was next? Was it A, Resident Evil 3, B, Silent Hill 2, C, Dead Space, or D,
Floppy.
Star Wars Attack of the Clones? Floppy?
Silent Hill 2.
Correct!
Damn it.
Did you know that one?
I had an inkling.
So
I was
apparently,
reading up about Silent Hill stuff the other week.
yeah, they got like pig squeals and children laughing.
Yeah, it was all the
and-
background, like the real background stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, and completely randomized it so you were feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah, so it was like nothing that characters were doing or NPCs were doing. It was all literally background noise.
Okay, here we go. Here's Michael Towns' one. And I didn't rewrite it. I forgot. So you're getting the whole thing. According to a 2013 study from the University of Padua in India, playing a certain video game for around 12 hours, 9 sessions of 80 minutes had benefits for dyslexic children, including to their reading speed without decreases in accuracy, the equivalent to 1 year of reading development. The video game they played, what was their video game?
What? I don't know what that means.
So there was a study done in 2013 that helped kids with
Dyslexia
and stuff.
Yep.
Which game was it? Okay.
Yeah. See, how's that? Real simple.
I think he's doing it on purpose, mate.
A. Rayman Raving Rabbids. B. Typing of the Dead. C. Leisure Suit Larry. Or D. Lawnmower Man for the Sega Genesis. Anto?
A.
Rayman Raving Rabbids is correct.
Did you know that?
No, but I had a feeling because it was 2013. It was either like based around like motion controls and the fact that like Raving Rabbids was like a party game with like lots of words and lots of stuff to do. Yeah, I don't know. I had a feeling, and it wouldn't be like Typing of the Dead because that's full of zombies and children, and that doesn't go together. So yeah.
Well, you never know. So at the end of that round on Quiz on Your Face, we have got Ben S on 1, Trent and Jazz on 2, Braden on 5, Anto on 23, and Floppy on 24. It's getting closer and closer.
It is getting
I love
closer.
it.
It makes me
great.
nervous.
We've been Hack the Dino. This has been our gaming cast where we bring you the past, present, and future of video games, news, previews, and the other thing that I forgot.
Reviews.
That's the one. Screw reviews. Who needs them? Not me. I just go in blind. Floppy, what do you like being blind for?
You know what? Usually I would plug my Instagram page, which I'm not going to do this week. No, I'm going to go back and go and help out the EB Games near you with the Starlight Children's Foundation. Go do that. Go and donate some money. Go see whatever your local stores are doing and help them raise money for the kids in hospital.
And tell them Floppy Plays Games sent you.
Yeah, do that.
See, I'm looking
There you
after
go.
it.
And when that Floppy Plays Games is an Instagram page with me in it.
Which he usually plugs. Which,
Yeah.
if you don't turn off the show before now, you would know all about.
Yeah, but you've probably already gone.
Hey, now that those jerks are gone, let's all talk smack about them.
I missed them already.
Really? You missed them?
Yep.
There's some Stockholm Syndrome stuff you got going on there.
What do you do, Ben?
What do I do? I throw to you, Anto, so you can tell me what you do.
Oh, okay. Well, I've recently, for those who don't know or care or haven't listened for the last few weeks, I started an Instagram page dedicated to my favorite series and my collection of Final Fantasy stuff. I haven't updated it recently because I'm waiting on a big ticket item to come through the mail.
Is that the one that you sent a photo off in our Discord?
Yes, it is.
Ooh,
It
very
should
nice.
be here by Wednesday.
Very nice. Wow, that was really quick.
Oh, yeah.
I've got an item on the way too.
Do you?
Yes.
But yeah, I do this. It's not specifically Final Fantasy. There's often other Square stuff in here as well. So like Air Guys,
Any
Parasite
circles?
Eve. Huh?
Got any circles in there?
No circles.
What about trapezoids?
That
Nah, none of them
Guys
either.
game was cool.
But yeah, this is that. I also have a personal Instagram, which is just at Hey It's Anto. There's just, I bought an anniversary controller for my PS4, which is like the grayscale one with the original buttons and stuff, which I found just in a local game store for like
So good.
$30 or something.
This is my favourite controller, that one.
Yeah, it's become my go-to when I play PS4 stuff. But yeah, other than that, not a huge amount. I've been pretty busy with work and other non-video game related stuff when I'm not playing video games. So, yeah.
I too do things on the internet, but to see that, you have got to pay money. If you don't want to pay money, you can just head to Instagram as well and look up Mr. Benjamin. That's where I post all my pickups. You may have noticed, if you are following me, that one, I've been posting old pictures from Japan, because God, I miss it. But also, I've been posting comics, because I'm back on that crack. I've decided that I want to try and get old X-Men and old Spider-Man comics because they rule. And I managed to swap all my first edition run of the Boys series complete for a bunch of old X-Men comics, and they're
Nice.
just
How
fantastic.
many comics did you reckon you got?
I got 107 of old X-Men comics.
And how many Boys comics were there? Like 8?
No. Boys ran for about 75 issues, and there was a
that you
couple of
had, though.
miniseries. No, I had the whole run.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you have old X-Men comics, give them to me. and Spider-Man 2. I'll find
Sell
a good
them
home
to
for
him for a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've seen my games room over the past couple of months. It's been an absolute travesty where I'm bagging and boarding all these comics up and putting them all in
you
order.
can't get in there.
What I'm
Normally
doing,
nervous.
buying new comic boxes and putting in runs of 100 in there. So I've got Amazing Spider-Man 400 to 499, and then the next box is 500 to 500.
599.
Yeah, it's great. I've never done that before. I was always the guy who just sort of threw comics in a box and went, yeah, there you go. Makes it really hard for organizing now because I've got about 20 boxes full of like 150, 200 comics each. Ridiculous. But I also have a fun little side project called Bad Game Arts. It's Bad Game Arts with an S because, Anto?
Because the name was already stolen.
Because the name was already taken. That's right.
I didn't steal your bit this week.
We're co-opting it. We're catchphrase buddies now. So this is where I go and find the very worst of 90s video game art, of which there was heaps. I've put some up today. So if we go to Chuck Rock. Now, the only thing I'm chucking here is my lunch after looking at that baby.
What is wrong with it?
I don't know. It's scary.
Why does it look like it's been punched in the face?
Because it's probably been punched in the face. But Chuck Rock, the
Hang
son
on,
of
why is there dinosaurs?
Because he's a cave baby.
Yeah, it's set in prehistoric times.
Don't think humans and... That doesn't matter.
I don't think light sources work like that as well. I mean, look at his arm. So the light's on the side of his head, and then the light's on the inside of his arm with the club up. That's not how light works.
Yeah, it's a
I
bit
mean,
weird.
it depends if the arm is like behind the head or not.
Yeah, I mean, technicalities, but you know.
Also, it's freaky as hell.
Yeah.
Next up, what did I write here, Anto?
Just when you thought these designs couldn't look any worse. Personally, as a Sonic fan, I think the designs for these characters are really cool.
Look at the dude in the middle. What's going on there?
The thing in the middle, I don't even know, but...
Is he nude and painted blue, or is that a suit with built-in muscles?
I don't know.
How short are his arms? Look at his little arms.
Little stubs.
He's got heaps of muscles, but these little arms that are sticking out the side.
Why is his groin a black hole?
Blue TV
And why
head
is
guy,
Sonic
Townsend's
become-
favourite Sonic character.
A nightmare fuel.
Who's the cool gator?
That is Vex, Vector the crocodile, also known as Vex.
Why is he a vampire?
He's a crocodile. He's
He's
got
a vampire.
spiky
He's a-
teeth at the front
he's
of
a-
their face.
Look at his fangs.
Is he wearing headphones?
Yes,
He's cool and
he's a
hip.
cool dude.
Yeah.
They're also a group of detectives.
The other day, I was
Oh, a
at
bunch
work,
of dicks, are they?
and someone
Yeah.
came in wearing headphones that with a little wire thing with the big orange pads on them, like old school 80s headphones.
Nice.
But
I'm
they
there
were
for that.
wireless, and they were a re-release design.
And lastly, the last one I put up, which was a bit concerned. I'm actually pretty disgusted with this one. Yeah, what do you reckon's going on there?
Oh,
Yeah.
They're all cop. She's just go and check this out.
Yep. That's-
Wow.
Yeah, that actually saw print.
you know what it is? This is Chun-Li doing, like, she's
100
like,
foot
oh,
kick.
check out my kicks, guys.
Yep.
And then she's just realised what the game designers have, like, made her look like. That's what it is. She's like, oh, God.
You don't reckon it's just pervy old people being pervs?
Look, it's probably that, but I'm trying to...
yeah.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
That was a magazine cover back in the 90s, so there you go.
that's not even hiding.
Nope.
Is that what's his name from Street Fighter?
Yeah, it's Honda.
Edmund Honda.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been Hack the Dino. This has been our gaming cast. Thank you for joining us. I would like to invite you all to my father's funeral. Floppy is also invited to, which is strange. I don't know who actually
I'm
did
catering it, mate. What are you talking about?
that. Catering it?
Yeah.
You serving up some pain from the tears of my family?
Cheese toasties.
Because my dead father that you mercilessly killed with your bare hands.
Yeah.
Bare hands. And what's funny is that Floppy actually has bare hands. They've got claws on them. He just starts slashing people.
True.
Floppy, what else do you do with your bare hands?
I mean, that's private, but
Not really. I mean, my father saw it. That's why you killed him.
yeah, it's because of the fur.
It's really good to...
It's nice when you do the...
This is where you cut it, Anto.
Bye, everyone!
No, you cut it at the bare
You
hands.
got to say when we do the joke.